Me again. Okay, so we're now going to set the equipment up. So just assuming that I'm going to do something with chemistry, safety goggles on. So first of all, I need to make sure that I've got my burette on the retooled stand. And we're going to use our burette holder. Now what you'll notice is that this fits on there, but the easiest way to do it is, if I just show you here, we can unscrew here, and inside there's a little insert, a little cone insert, which tightens up as I tighten the screw. So what we do is we first place that over there, and we slide the cone on narrow side up, and then we fit on the top, and then we tighten it up. And as it tightens up, it squeezes onto the retool stand to hold it. The other thing to notice as well is that this centre bit is on a spring. Okay, and what that spring does is it holds the burette in place. So as I've got my burette, it can be held there. I hold that back and I slot in my burette in there, and it holds it in place. Okay. The other thing to make sure about is that at the bottom you have a tap on the bottom of your burette. When the handles of the tap are lining up with the burette, that means the tap is open. Make sure at this point it is closed. Okay. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we clean the burette. So all we're doing with this is we're just going to squirt in some distilled water. And all this means is that we're making sure that we've got a nice clean burette to do our chemistry with. So you squirt it down, it runs down, and you open the tap, and water runs back out again. Okay, and then that can go down the sink. When it comes to filling the burette up, what we're actually going to do is we're going to fill it up with some acid, some half molar acid. But at the moment, the top of the burette is actually above my head. So it's all the way up here. And what I don't want to do is put the funnel into the top of the burette and then hold acid above my head and pour it in. So what we do is we can take the entire retooled stand and place it on the floor, put the funnel in, and then we can fill up. Let's just move this camera. So it just looks like that. And then we fill up with our hydrochloric acid. Okay, and very carefully making sure the tap is closed, because otherwise you're going to end up with hydrochloric acid around your feet. You fill it up, don't pour it in too quickly, because what will happen is you'll overflow the burette. Okay, and that is now above the top line. So I'm going to take the funnel out to the side, cap the acid bottle, and then I can pick up the entire retooled stand. And here now I have my volume of acid is at the top there. Notice that I've got lots of lines here. Okay, now when I talk about lots of lines, let's just rejig the camera again. When I talk about lots of lines, you've got very accurate readings here of 0.1 millilitres of acid in there. And what you can do is you need to look at the zero line, try and get it eye level, and you need to slowly open the tap until the level just touches the bottom of the line there. Now, what you'll notice as well is that the level of the liquid inside isn't straight, it curves down. It's called a meniscus. And you want the bottom of that meniscus to be touching the line. That is where you take your reading from. Okay, so that's all full up. What we're now going to do is we're going to fill up, so this one had acid in, so I'm going to put this to one side next to the acid so I know it's got the acid. I'm then going to take some sodium hydroxide and put it in a clean conical flask. And I'm going to do this accurately, so I'm going to use my volumetric pipette with my pipette filler. Now, that's got a little hole in there. This bit, the non-pointy end, fits into the pipette filler, and you just give it a little pull. Don't try and push too hard. People have put these through their hands. I do know from personal experience, and there is a scar there somewhere. Okay, on your pipette filler there is a wheel. If you wheel it up, you will get liquid coming into your pipette from your sodium hydroxide. Okay, so lid off the sodium hydroxide, pipette goes in, and I wheel up here. And as I'm wheeling up, you can see that the level is going up inside of the inside the volumetric pipette. Now, it goes up quite slowly inside the large area, and then what you'll see here is it then, once you get into the thin bit, it shoots up. That mark on the pipette is the accuracy. So that's not quite 25 mil, that is too much. So you need to have a really gentle hand and try and get it exactly on the mark. What that is going to do now is we are now going to place that into our conical flask, and you can do that by pressing that release button here. So as I press that, the level is going down. Okay, and it's just going into my conical flask. Right. The reason we do titrations is to work out relative strengths of things. So what we need to do is we need to be able to tell when the reaction is finished. I'm going to use a white tile, and I'm just going to place that on the bottom of the clamp stand, like that. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a chemical to the sodium hydroxide, which changes colour according to the pH. This particular one is called phenolphthalein, and what you will see is as I add it to the sodium hydroxide, it goes a lovely pink colour. Okay. As the pH decreases, so it becomes more acidic, the colour slowly disappears. So as I add my acid to this, it will slowly disappear. And what it does is I've accurately measured a known volume of sodium hydroxide of known concentration, and I'm adding hydrochloric acid, which we filled up the burette with. And what it means is that if I know what the strength of this is, then it means I can work out what the strength of my acid is. And all I'm going to do is place this underneath and turn the tap. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in onto the bottom of the colour here, so that as the reaction kind of goes on, you'll be able to see the titration. Okay. Hopefully my camera will let me do this without falling over. Okay, let's move this way a bit, and we should be more or less there. Okay, good. So all I'm going to do now is let this run in. Okay, and I can open it up, and I want to be swirling all the time. And then you can stop it and swirl some more. Open it up and swirl some more. Now, I know where the end point of this particular reaction is, and I know I'm getting closer. So what I do is I add it very dropwise, and can you see the colour disappearing? Oh, it's nearly gone. It's nearly gone. Not quite, it's still a tiny little bit pink, which is why we've got the white tile under there to make sure that we can see it properly. And now, I would say that that colour has gone. What I then do is I can then look at the reading. So that's now colourless. I can now look at the reading on my burette, and I can see that I've used 21.1 millilitres of acid. And what we're going to do in the lesson is we are going to use that to work out the concentrations of various different things. Okay? But that was only a rough one because I wasn't entirely accurate. So we then repeat it and slow down once we get near to the end. Okay? Hopefully this video has been of help, and that you watch it and come to the lesson prepared for our practical. Thank you very much.